I'm going to make a lemon sumac and thyme chicken, which I'm then going to cook on a griddle, and I'm going to serve it with some homemade flatbreads and some griddled beef tomatoes and with a Greek salad and plenty of that lovely rich Greek yoghurt. So first thing that I need to do is marinate my chicken. Now with a marinade we're going to have, definitely need some acid in there, so we need oil and we need acid, basic ingredients for a marinade. The oil takes those flavours and absorbs into the chicken, and the acid, the lemon juice in this case, is going to just start to break down those protein fibres, which helps tenderise the meat as well. So you could use lemon juice, you could use white wine, sometimes you put a vinegar in there. As long as there's a little bit of acid in there, adds to the flavour but also helps in the tenderising of the meat. So just going to squeeze a lemon, get as much of that juice out as possible. And I'm just going to mix into that just a little bit. I'm using some Greek oil because it's sort of Mediterranean-y, also, or sort of almost Morocco, those sorts of flavours in there. So we'll put some olive oil in. I'm going to put a little bit of sumac in, which also adds to the citrus flavour. It's sort of a Moroccan, North African sort of flavour, but it will add to the citrus flavour. It's also going to add to the colour as well, because it's quite a sort of red colour. Give that a bit of a mix round. Pour that in. I'll get a bit of fresh thyme in there as well. So thyme, it's quite woody. You don't want to use the stalk, so just run your fingers along that and break that in. Don't want those woody bits. Already that smells fantastic. Okay, so give that a bit of a mix round. And then we're just going to sit that to one side and let that marinade while we work on the salad. Now I can get the salad done because that can go to the fridge. I've already, leave that there. I will season that, but I'm going to season it later just as we're cooking it. Right, I've already made some bread dough, just basic bread dough, 200 grams of bread flour, a sachet of yeast, some water. That's all I need for that. And I'm letting it rise for a little bit. It doesn't need to rise quite as much because I'm not making a big loaf of bread, flatbread. You can get away with a little bit less time. So we've got our chicken marinating. We're going to make a little bit of Greek salad. So really simple, but really loads and loads of lovely flavour in this. I've got some lettuce. This is just some little gent lettuce. So it's quite nice and crispy, but it's got quite a texture to it. A nice crunchy texture. So I'm just going to chop that up a bit. And I'm just going to put that on the plate that I'm going to serve it all on. Build it up. And then I want some chunks of cucumber. I'm just going to have some pieces. Okay, I'm going to sprinkle those on the top. I'm going to have a little bit of red onion. Red onion, lovely flavour, also really lovely colours as well on the top there. So put a bit of that on. I'm going to add on some olives, and I'm just going to cut those so that when you bite into the salad you get this lovely salty flavour that comes out of it. And a little bit of feta on the top. Let's put a couple of whole olives on as well, just to give it some more texture. Feta, really lovely and salty and acidic. I'm going to add a little bit of halloumi on there as well. I'm just going to cut that into some pieces. We've got two different Greek Cypriot cheeses. And just for a bit of colour, I'm not going to add too much tomato because I'm going to have some tomato that I'm going to put on the griddle. So we'll just add that in there for a bit of colour. I'm going to add some mint leaves. When you have herbs, it's much better to just rip them, and you get a rough break, so you get more surface area, so you get more flavour come out. Okay, so a little bit of mint on the top there. Now you can use some other herbs as well. Oregano is quite nice in there as well. So that can just sit to one side now. I've got my salad done. And I'm just going to move this out of the way. Next job, I'm going to knock back my flatbreads and then I can get those baking in the oven. So a little bit of flour on the work surface. Just give it a bit of a knead, just knock it back. Just break down those gluten strands, they'll then reform and just make that structure a little bit softer. And I don't want to make huge flatbreads, I'm just going to keep them fairly small. Make it into 3. And then just going to shape them. And then I'm just going to put those into the oven on a baking sheet and bake them. They're going to take not very long, 8 to 10 minutes. Okay, now you could flavour these as well, add some fresh herbs into them. Okay, so shape those just into some oval shapes. I'm just going to leave them to stand for a few minutes before I put them in the oven. Just give them another chance for a bit more of a rise. We want a little bit more of that yeast giving off its carbon dioxide so we get a nice light texture to it. We don't want them to be chewy. So we'll give it another chance to have another rise. So I'm just going to put those onto a baking sheet, put them to one side and just leave them to rise for a bit longer. Okay. So we've got our chicken marinade, we've got our salad done and we've got our flatbreads on the go. I'm going to sort the chicken out next and we'll start to skewer it. I'm just going to wash my hands. I'm going to cook the chicken on a griddle and I'm going to put the beef tomatoes on there as well. So what I'll do is I'll skewer the chicken up, slice the tomatoes, we'll start the chicken cooking first and then get the tomatoes in there afterwards because we don't want them to go really soggy. I just want them to just have a bit of a touch of the charredness on there. Okay, I'm going to skewer the chicken up, but before I do that, what I want to do is just add a little bit of crushed garlic in. Just get a bit of garlicky flavour in there. And I'm going to add a little bit of chilli flake, just to pep it up a little bit. And give it a little bit of a season. And some pepper in there. And give it a good old stir. Okay, so it smells amazing. So we've got chicken in there, we've got lemon juice, we've got oil, we've got garlic, we've got some thyme, some sumac, salt and pepper, and a few chilli flakes as well. So I'm going to get my griddle nice and hot, and I'll show you that in a moment. And I'm just going to skewer this chicken on. Make sure you leave a little bit of gap between each of the chicken pieces so that the heat can get through there as well. So we'll put about 4 pieces on. Smells really fresh and summery. Okay, so while my griddle's heating, I'm just going to let those sit there for a minute. And that's nearly hot, so I've just put a little bit of Greek oil in there. And I'm just going to put those in the bottom there, and I'm just going to let those sizzle away while I prep my beef tomato. Okay, so my chicken is sizzling really nicely now, so I'm going to just show you, so bear with me while I try and just show you this chicken. So there's the chicken, sizzling really nicely. I'm just going to give it a bit of a turn around. And see how that's changing colour to that nice cooked chicken colour. Obviously it needs a bit longer yet. So we'll just keep that in that sizzling there. And I'm going to just sort out the beef tomato now. So all I'm going to do is just slice this so we end up with some nice, not too thick slices. You want it to sit on the flatbread and have that nice cooked, not too mushy but just soft tomato sweet flavour. Just get rid of that bit. Okay, so we'll just drop those into the pan as well. Okay, so there it is cooking. I'm going to just season that tomato with some pepper. I'm just going to sprinkle a little of oregano on it as well, just picked off the windowsill. Ready to turn that over. And you can see the flatbreads are rising nicely now, so they've definitely grown in size. I'm going to put those in the oven. Okay, so the chicken's sizzling really well. I've just turned the tomatoes. You can see the oregano's on the underside there. They're doing nicely now. Chicken's sizzling well. See all that, the lovely colours of the chilli, and the pepper and the thyme. And just gently turning that over a little bit at a time. Make sure it's cooked all the way through. Take one of the flatbreads and I'm just going to cut it diagonally like that. And then what we'll do is we'll just put the tomato underneath. And the chicken on the top, and then I'm just going to drizzle it with a little bit of yoghurt. So this is really lovely thick Greek yoghurt, so we'll just put a little bit of that over the top. So it's got a little bit of sort of wetness, moisture to the dish, a little bit down there. And there. And then I'm just going to garnish it. So I'm going to put a little bit of thyme, sprinkle some thyme over because the chicken was marinated in the thyme. That'll be quite nice over the top. And then I'm just going to use these chive flowers, some nice purple. This will just give a nice onion bite to it. And I think we're probably good to go. So we've got some lemon, thyme, marinated chicken with some sumac and chilli flakes, with some homemade flatbread, griddled tomatoes, and a really lovely Greek salad with all that feta and halloumi to give it that extra little acid bite to it.